Hey everyone, my name is Shamila, and welcome back to the Founder's Journal, my Founder's Journal. I am the founder of Kasana African Chai and formerly Nile Hair. And whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur or someone who's just curious about my journey, stick around, as today I will be discussing some of my top lessons I've learned as a young business owner so far. Good morning. I went to Solid Core this morning and I'm feeling good. I went at 7:30 a.m. and now it's 9. I'm dressed for work and I'm gonna make a protein smoothie really quickly and then head into the office. Also listening to a podcast. So lesson number 1 is the importance of time management, and associated with that is automation. So for me specifically, since I am balancing a corporate career while also trying to do this whole entrepreneurship thing, it's very necessary to be able to automate different processes to occur while I am working my 9 to 5. And so, what I've incorporated in my journey recently is a social media planning app, but also one that can actually post on Instagram without me having to click into the app and do all of these things. So this allows me to spend 1 day a week sort of working on social media posts in bulk for that week, planning them all out, and then just filtering them through the app, setting everything to post and scheduling everything out. And then during the week, these posts are sort of automated to an extent. I still like to go in and promote the stuff after it's been posted, but I think that makes my job a lot easier, especially because social media is such a tool, but it's also very labor intensive. And I think as a solo entrepreneur, solo business owner, especially at the very beginning without help, a lot of that falls onto your plate. But with that being said, it can be pretty difficult to keep up with that in your day to day while also managing other aspects of your life and business. And so I personally use the application called Later, and through this, I'm able to plan everything for my Instagram, see how it'll look in the grid before I schedule everything out. And that just makes my life a whole lot easier during the week. Definitely recommend. It is a paid service, but I think the time savings and sort of the stress that relieves from me is definitely worth the $15 a month in that case. And I think the key to this as a business owner is that this allows me to focus on the bigger picture of things. One issue with being a solo founder is that at the very beginning, everything is sort of in your head and you're tasked with bringing this vision to life. And beyond that, you're tasked with bringing your major goals, your big picture goals to life as well. And I think that part of your role can get a bit muddled sometimes in the day to day aspect of running things, such as packing orders or just making social media posts. I think it's great to leave bandwidth or time available to you to still be creative and look at the big picture thing and sort of plan some of those visionary aspects of where you want to see your company going. Lesson 2, and this is such a key one, I cannot emphasize this enough, but failure is inevitable. In fact, it is a key aspect of your journey on the path to success. And so, really, in the day to day aspect of things, especially as a business owner, but in life in general, things go wrong all the time. And that is okay. It is just an aspect of learning more and figuring out things as you go. And I had to learn that it's okay for things to go bad. In fact, it's actually quite okay if things are going bad because that means you are making progress in some shape or form, whether you are learning things to move forward from or just learning new lessons to take into any venture or any aspect of what you are doing moving forward. The key here is that you cannot let your losses define you. And you have to be able to sort of keep moving forward and take everything in stride, um, and just keep going. I think this reminds me of an assignment I had early on during my entrepreneurship minor at USC. We were tasked with going out into the world for a week and getting as many rejections as we can. And this could be for anything, whether asking someone in the library, like, a totally random question or making a request that, is just like way out there and no one would ever agree to. And the end goal of that exercise is to sort of um, get used to hearing no and get used to failing and knowing that that's just an aspect of your journey. And one thing that that sort of helps with is, as a founder, you're probably having times where your mood is very elevated because you're getting everything that you want, or people are saying yes, you're getting more customers, positive reviews. And then one little thing can happen, and it could bring your mood way down here. And so we want to avoid this emotional roller coaster that could be very exhausting mentally, or our mood is sort of high and then it's low and then it's high again, because that can be very mentally draining as a founder and for anyone in general. And so, in terms of, I think the main aspect of that assignment was to desensitize us to the course of just life and entrepreneurship and the aspect of things going wrong and also things going right, just to sort of make us more mentally and emotionally stable within this career path that we've chosen. And I think that looking back on that assignment now, it's something that I want to continue to incorporate, maybe not so randomly, but with Kasana, sort of leaning into those ideas or those paths that I think may not go my way or are actually likely not to go my way, but just for the purpose of actually trying and getting there and maybe not getting there. And I think at the core of this is just learning how to fall forward or fail forward and keep moving. Um, because that's the key. At least you're moving in the direction that you want. And if you become so scared of failure that you're actually just stepping away from opportunities, or keeping yourself within a narrow path or a box where you know that you're guaranteed success, that's not really driving you towards those bigger picture and long term goals at the end of the day. Speaking of failure, one thing that I like to say all the time is that Nile Hare walked so Kasana could run. And this brings me to my final lesson that I've learned. And it's that, specifically as a business founder and as a solo founder, you are your business's biggest asset and liability. Let me run that back. As a solo founder, or as a founder in general, you as the business owner, the founder, etc., you are both your company's largest asset and at the same time your business's biggest liability. What I mean by this is that, especially as a solo founder, everything at the end of the day rests on your shoulders. And so if you are unable to continue forward, then your business cannot. And so, in this same lens, I think the value or the importance of really learning how to take care of yourself and maintaining good mental health, boundaries, etc., within your life at the end of the day is there to protect your business and your company. I think we always hear about like this go, go, go hustle culture within entrepreneurship, and you have to grind 24/7. But really, that lifestyle is not sustainable and you will burn out. And once you burn out, there will be no one else to sort of continue on your company for you or continue that momentum or the day to day things. And so it becomes really clear, or it became really clear to me while working on Nile Hair, that as the center of my startup, I needed to recenter myself within my life, prioritize not burning out, and sort of living a balanced and healthy lifestyle that will in turn help me show up as the best version of myself in the day to day for now Kasana African Chai. And I think that's something that's not spoken about enough. But I really think like this whole hustle grind culture that is related to entrepreneurship is actually quite toxic and maybe perpetuated by those who haven't actually had the best history of success within the space, which I think is something that we should decenter in terms of our content or the content you consume online related to business building and entrepreneurship. And really, I think talking to actual business owners who've been in the game for years and years is really the key and the way that you learn um, rather than sort of falling into the popular channels that may not really be very helpful for you. Related to that is your attention. So given that your company's largest asset and also your largest liability, it's quite important to also control your attention and where your attention is focused. So whether you are focused solely on the day-to-day aspect of things, whether that's packing orders and making those social media posts. If all your attention is on that, then you might not necessarily be growing or focused enough on the long term picture. But in the reverse, if you're only focused on the long term picture and some of those day to day operations fall short, that's not great either. Related to that is while we're living in this really social media heavy era, which is very Gen Z, can't avoid it. Even I scroll on TikTok for much longer than I should. I think it's very important that we learn to control our attention and learn to recognize when something is actually detracting from our end goal rather than supporting it or supporting ourselves in terms of actually being relaxing or beneficial in any way in that way. Ooh, something I watched this past week that really put things into perspective for me is when another creator on here, her name's Behja, when she mentioned that closed mouths don't get fed. That reminded me of something one of my coworkers said at the very beginning of me starting in this current team that I'm at. And I cannot emphasize this enough, but closed mouths don't get fed. So, bringing it back to failure, if you are so afraid to fail that you're not even asking, you're already failing in that way because who can help or no one can say yes or give you opportunities if you're not asking them for them in the first place. And girl, if you are so scared of failing that you're not even showing up, you're already cooked. Like, I can't even emphasize this enough. And that was me at one point. So it's okay if you're there right now, but you do need to get better at putting yourself out there, whether for yourself, your business, etc. You got to do it. So these are the lessons that I've learned thus far in my entrepreneurial journey that have helped me grow both personally and professionally. And I hope that they can do the same for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Whether this resonated with you, or you have any comments, concerns, disagreements, whatever it is, comment it down below. Let me know. Let's have a discussion about this. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone.